Our physicians, these are physicians who don't use drugs, who give hydrotherapy treatments, who teach health, give health talks, should awake to the necessity of having health works prepared by men who are on the ground and who can meet the people where they are with the most essential instruction. The Lord will give to our sanitariums, whose work is already established, an opportunity to cooperate with Him in assisting newly established plants. What was supposed to be all over the world? Health institutions teaching people how to live so they won't get sick. Every new institution is to be regarded as a sister helper in the great work of proclaiming the third angel's message. God has given our sanitariums an opportunity to set in operation a work that will be as a stone instinct with life, growing as it is rolled by an invisible hand. Let this mystic stone be set in motion. Is it possible that we're waiting for the stone to come out of the sky, and God is waiting for us to set it in motion? What does this describe the mystic stone as? Our health message. What have we done with the health message? We put it over here in the closet. And then we're waiting and we say, why is it so long, Lord? We got to the toes and now we're waiting for this stone to come out of the sky. But what's God waiting for? He's waiting for our health message to come out of the closet. Now, who's bringing it out? The world. From every angle, coming out and giving us this message. What was supposed to be at the forefront of our evangelism? The health message. You've heard of that saying, it's an opening wedge. How many of you here, we're in the right state for this, how many people here in this room have had an opportunity to split some good Maine hardwood? You ever had that opportunity? How many axes could you break? Some guy comes with 15 sharp axes and he starts splitting wood. Will he work hard? He'll work hard, but he'll break handle after handle, axe after axe. And here's another guy with a splitting maul and a wedge. Who has the big pile of wood at the end of the day? The guy with the wedge. What did God give us? An opening wedge. You know who told us that? A Maine woman who had split some wood. And what did we do with that message? We put it over in the closet. We'll stick it over here in the closet. Why? We don't want to embarrass ourselves by talking about the health message, do we? Haven't we done what the children of Israel did? Didn't we go out and ask for a king so we could be like the world? I wrote a little rendition of this, and I understand that it's probably a little different than you expect to hear, but I think that it's time for us to review our message. This is based on Samuel, the 8th chapter, with just making this a little bit more like today. And it came to pass when the prophet was old that a spiritual son practiced medicine on modern Israel. Now his name was Dr. Kellogg, who was practicing in Battle Creek and had patients like Thomas Edison, Firestone, the Mayo brothers, Dr. Scholl, Ford, Buick, Rockefeller, DuPont, Sarnoff, oilmen Sinclair and Phillips, J.C. Penney, Montgomery Ward, Kress and Kresge, President William Howard Taft, Frank Knox, Amelia Earhart, Billy Sunday, Eddie Cantor, Booker T. Washington, and Ivan Pavlov, to name a few. Were these people interested in God's health message? Were they coming to learn natural treatments? Have you heard any of those names by any chance? Yeah. How about Ford and Buick and Firestone and DuPont and the Mayo brothers, like Mayo Clinic? You heard of that? They came to learn God's health message. But Dr. Kellogg, even though he was trying to get ministers to quit drinking coffee and chewing tobacco and trying to get God's people to stop eating cheese and other animal products, grew discouraged and did not walk in all the ways of the Lord, but turned aside after pantheism, and his judgment became perverted. Then all the elders of modern Israel, Seventh-day Adventists, gathered themselves together and came unto the prophet unto Battle Creek, and said unto the prophet, Behold, thou art old, and thy spiritual son walks not in thy ways. Now make us regular doctors to care for us like all the other people in our nation. But the thing displeased the prophet when they said, Give us regular doctors to heal us in our own way. So the prophet prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto the prophet, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, and that I cannot heal them in my way without the use of drugs. This is according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them from the great disappointment even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, the god of fashion, the god of mammon, the god of appetite. So do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the doctors practicing on them to heal them. And the prophet told all the words of the Lord unto the people, and that asked of him a doctor. And he said, This will be the manner of the doctors that shall practice on you to heal you. They will take your sons and appoint them for themselves to be their servants, to be their stretcher bearers, and some will be ambulance chasers to run after the ambulances. And they will appoint them captains over drug companies, and captains over hospitals, and captains over fast food chains, and will set them to prepare you for disease and suffering so they can reap their harvest of cash. In order to make their instruments for war, they will build medical schools that will not teach people about health principles, like not eating junk food, and like not eating diseased animals, and like not dressing in a way which hinders the circulation and produces disease. This will keep the people sick. Instead, the medical schools will teach which poisonous drug is to be used for which sickness, and how to burn you with radiation to remove tumors that are only the symptoms of the fast food chain, so that the doctors will be able to stay in business and continue to harvest the cash. And they will take your daughters to be nurses, RNs, LPNs, CNAs, to empty bedpans, and to carry out trash, and to humbly take demeaning orders from the doctors. They will even deal drugs when the doctors order, and they will have to work long and hard for a small part of the harvest of cash. And the rest of your children will be volunteers to work in the hospitals, cleaning up vomit and human waste, and doing the work that even the nurses do not want to do. But they will get nothing of the harvest of cash, as they are volunteers. And they will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, your food, even the best you have, like whole grains and fresh fruit and vegetables raised without chemicals and poisonous sprays, and they will give them to their servants, the fellow laborers, the food processors. And they will genetically modify your food, take out the vitamins, spray it, and fertilize it with poisons, and then give all of your food a long shelf life. But it will shorten your life, and it will give to themselves more sources of cash production. Does any of that sound familiar to you? And they will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards, your income, as taxes, to pay their officers and their servants to enforce their many laws, which they will make to keep you sick by eating their modified foods that they will enforce their laws about taking their drugs, and then they will enforce their laws that you have to go to them to be your healing doctors. And these officers and servants will have power to arrest you and to haul you to jail for child abuse or elder abuse if you do not follow their laws that they have made to ensure the destruction of you and your families. And they will take your men